This week I'm cash stuffing $907. This week I'm cash. Hi everybody, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cece. In my channel I cash stuff in order to stay on budget. My husband and I are currently working towards paying off about $30,000 in debt. We've cleared out almost all of our credit cards, and by cash stuffing and budgeting, we've done that over the past year or two. We're really close to being done. So this is what we do essentially on a weekly basis. So this week I'm cash stuffing $907. This is going to be for, I believe it's the second week of August. So for the Friday, August the 8th checks that we received. And so let's pretty much get into that. We're going to start with let's see, this is the binder that we start with. Let's set this up really quickly. So here, our high priority rent is number 1. So this week for rent, we are setting aside $520, which is going to be probably almost all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. And 20. So we're adding 520 to whatever we already had, which is probably just about 200. Okay. So now we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20. 720 set aside for rent. Okay, that's rent. Electric this week is getting $52. 50 and 2. So I set aside money based off of whatever the projected bill is going to be. We live in Southern California, and the company that we pay electricity to does give us a projection. So sometimes I'll get text messages that say, oh, you're over by like $20 or $40. But because we're in the summer months and it's really hot and my kids have the ACs running constantly, the bill's gonna be higher, right? Okay, so I'm gonna use my calculator for this. Okay. 50, 20, 40, 60, 81. So that's 150. 20, 25, 30, 35. A lot of ones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So $208 is what we have set aside. And I believe that for the next week, we are not going to cash stuff. So typically the week that we pay the bill, we don't pull money to cash stuff. So whatever is left to complete the bill, we just leave it in the bank and just pay the bill that way, instead of pulling the money out and then having to put the money back in. And what we do is, for example, this money that's cash stuffed, we'll pull it and repurpose it to other bills, so that in that week we'll pull less money from the bank. So we don't necessarily take anything back to the bank. It's whatever comes out pretty much stays out. Nothing ever goes back. Other YouTubers, other people that do cash stuffing, I know that some people like to take the money back to the bank because it makes more sense to them. And maybe when they're tracking in their apps, if they use apps, it balances better. So that's one thing that's a little bit of a downfall of not taking the money back to the bank, is that when you're tracking your transactions, it's harder for it to balance out because money's coming out, but it doesn't match essentially. So that's one thing. If you're using apps like the Every Dollar app or like the MoneyWise app that Caleb Hammer has, like any of those apps, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble with balancing if the money isn't there necessarily, because you're pulling the money out. So it sees that as like you already spent it. You have to essentially, like, for example, like on the MoneyWise app that Caleb Hammer has, you can't necessarily split the transactions into different categories. But if you use the Every Dollar app, you can. So if I was pulling out $1,000, I'm able to split that transaction into like the different categories. So if it's $350 for groceries, I could put $350 for groceries, $500 for rent, or etc. So that you can do. It's just a little bit more tedious. So I haven't been using the apps too much lately, but we're still essentially trying to stay on track just by pulling cash out, paying our bills, and not spending too much. Okay, so electric has 208. Internet, let me see. This week we're skipping internet because we pulled the money and we already did the repurposing and it's already being paid from our bank account. So internet we're not pulling for. And then the same thing for cell phones. So cell phones got paid yesterday on the 7th. Same thing. Pull the money out, repurpose it. And essentially we pulled money from the bank, but it wasn't as much as what we technically would need, just because we pulled the money from the envelopes and repurpose it into the other categories. Okay, student loan is getting $22. So 21, 2. The only thing, well, another thing that makes it a little bit more challenging doing it this way is that when I have to reshuffle the money and take it out and use it towards the next bills, is that my denominations might be a little bit off. So I might end up with a lot of ones. That's why electric has so many ones in it, because I needed to find the right denominations for the different categories for this week. So, 22, it got 22, now it has 20, 40, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. $66 in student loan. And for student loan, we will cash stuff one more time. No. So for example, this one, next week, we won't cash stuff for it. We'll be pulling it from this one. Okay. Personal loan gets $153. I have my cash planning on the side here. 153. Okay, and that's all my ones. Same thing, I think, for this personal loan is going to be the same thing as before. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 400. Okay, 150. 40. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so 612 here in personal loan, and we are a week ahead on this one. This is essentially the full amount for personal loan. Solely because I believe in the month of June we had like 5 Fridays, so we were able to do that. No, it was July. One of the two. We had 5 Fridays and we were able to complete the whole amount before the due date. So this is going to be due next week, and we already have it complete. So next week we won't cash stuff for personal loan, or we can cash stuff for it and get ahead. It just depends on whatever we feel is right for that week. So this binder is done. The next binder is this black one. I actually have new binders that I purchased because these are pretty beat up. I've had these probably a little over a year, probably going on 2 years, and I've never updated them. So everything is gonna get updated. I have more binders that I'm gonna use. So there's gonna be one for the home bills, for the auto bills, one for kids, and then one for sinking funds, I believe. So not too sure exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I know that it's gonna be split up a little bit differently. Okay. $1,000. We have $1,000 in our emergency fund currently in the bank. This is our auto registration number 1. So because we previously emptied out all of our sinking funds and we restarted, now we're saving more than what we did before. Before, this sinking fund was $10 a week, now it's 20. So it's gonna get 20 today. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 120, 40, 60, 80, 200. So there's 200 here. We already received the notice from the DMV, and we need probably like another 160 to complete this one for our first car. And for our second car, same thing, we doubled the number, now it's 10. So let's pull this and we're gonna grab a 10. So now we have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70. $70 here. And the bill for this one is smaller. We probably need another $60 to be complete on this one. And auto insurance gets $50. Oh, there was a whole debacle that happened with this, with our auto insurance when it renewed the last time. So we canceled a policy with one company because they were going to increase our rates, but like it was going to be like $400 more, and we decided to opt out of that company and we moved over to another company, and we canceled our policy. So it wasn't supposed to auto renew. I even logged on, I removed my credit card information. So I updated the profile online, removed the credit card information. We called the company, told them we were canceling and that we didn't want to renew the policy. Tell me why at the end of May, we still got hit with a charge from them. It was so infuriating because it went straight to my credit card, and that credit card was a zero balance. So they charged my credit card on the last day of May, and it was my Apple card. So if you don't understand, like Apple will like just, it reports on that day. So it reported straight to the credit bureaus that I had this balance that wasn't even accurate. And it was a mess. So we called them, told them, hey, you charged us. You weren't supposed to charge us because we canceled the policy. We called on this day. We spoke to somebody about canceling and what's going on. So it took them a little bit of back and forth, and they canceled it eventually. But it took them forever to refund the money back to my credit card. If that charge would have gone through to our debit card, it would have been more infuriating, because then it comes out of your cash that you have saved in your account. So at least it was better that it was there, but it still shouldn't have happened that way. So we switched over to another company that charged us less, which works out for us now. And so essentially what we do, we pay every 6 months for our auto insurance. Let's see. So we added 50, and now we have 50, 100, 152, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 45, 50. So 350 in auto insurance. This policy renews, I believe, end of November. Yes, end of November. So we still have a little bit of time left to save for this one. And I think that's it. Auto maintenance is gonna actually get $10. So auto maintenance is getting 10. Travel, we have some travel set aside, but that's in our high yield savings. So we're not pulling the cash for travel right now. We're just putting it into the savings. And then this is the driver's ed fund for my oldest son, and it's getting $10. Oops, just 10. It currently has $40. So everything is gonna get updated on these binders. Like all of these are gonna get switched out. They're all new envelopes. I already bought some. I already bought the binders. I need to see if I have any more of these envelopes. Okay, so that's it for this one. The remainder goes into my personal wallet. So the remainder goes here. Like these are super beat up already. They're really old. I got these on Etsy. They're cute, but I think next time I'm going to get them where it's across this way, because I don't hold my wallet like a book. I hold it like this with the envelopes with the opening up. So groceries, we already shopped for groceries and we already used up the cash that we had set aside. We had set aside $350, already used it. It's all gone. Laundry is gonna get $40. Okay. And household is getting 15. We just need to buy dish soap. So we're gonna just get dish soap. I know it's like more than what we need. We probably need like 11 or 12, but it's okay. 15 is fine. Hygiene is getting 5. I think I'm gonna get different categories when I decide to update this wallet. I'm gonna switch out categories because gas, I don't cash stuff for gas anymore. I just pay with my debit card because the majority of the time that I do pump gas, I'm pumping at Costco, and Costco doesn't have attendants. You don't go in and pay, you just pay with your card. And then eating out, we're not eating out as much now, and I'd rather not have a category for it because then it's gonna, I feel like it's gonna encourage me to do it. So right now what we're doing is we meal prep for our lunches, and I think this week we're probably going to be meal prepping for lunch and for breakfast. So we're going to try to do a little bit more just to have stuff ready and available, just to like get going with our days and make it easier. So that's it for this one. That's pretty much it for the whole cash stuffing. I got everything already completed. So total was $907. Everything set aside for the week. Some we didn't set anything aside for. Internet and cell phones didn't get anything because they got paid this week. Groceries, we already spent it. And that's it. We're done with this week's cash stuffing. Thank you for watching. If you found any of the information helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.